just about every time I post a vid of a figure I like, well, if you notice, I only kind of briefly go over articulation. And that's not to say articulation isn't important to me. I just assume people know that most figures have double joints. They could, you know, when you watch a reviewer, they'll do like full rotation of the arm. What figure doesn't rotate at the arm? Black Series does, Marvel Legends do, heck, even like reaction figures do. And they rotate the head all the way around like The Exorcist. It's great that reviewers do that. Today, we're going to go over bad articulation, above average, great articulation. And I mainly cover McFarlane because I like the toy line. I like DC Multiverse, I like Spawn, and they're relatively still cheap. I think people still think McFarlane does this kind of stuff, where it's a statue that like the arm might move for some reason. I don't even know why this thing moves at all. It can't do anything. By the way, Todd, if you're somehow watching this, which I know you ain't, please make this guy into a mega figure. So we're going to talk articulation today. We're going to just get this out. For some reason, people still think McFarlane has bad articulation. We're going to cover all that today on Toy Games. Hey! Oh! Games! Toy Games! So here's a who's who of characters. So, 5 points of articulation. This would just mean your figure is articulated. Now, it's no fault of this figure. It came out at a time when the technology wasn't there, but this would just be an articulated figure. 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Head moves, arm moves. What I was saying before is, obviously, what toy doesn't do that? What toy doesn't go all the way around? And when they turn their head all the way around, don't you just want them to turn it back? It freaks me out. This is just an articulated figure. Captain Picard here, Playmates, kind of did what G.I. Joe did, what revolutionized kind of the way toys moved. You know, that was Hasbro, right? Or is that Kenner? I'm losing my mind. I got so many toys. No, Kenner was that. And then G.I. Joe, of course, was Hasbro. Jesus. Anyway, bends at the elbow, bends at the knee. This was kind of revolutionary. Picture this as G.I. Joe. It's not a G.I. Joe. Head moves. This became what everybody had to have in their life. Even though He-Man didn't do that, kind of stuck to 5 points, we all needed that. Okay, that's just an that would be bad articulation. Move on to Super 7 here, who kind of still uses this buck to this day. The 90 degrees, just bends at the elbow. Look at poor Arnold. He's like, huh? It just bends at the knee. This would be average articulation. So, Star Wars bad, Picard kind of bad, something that goes 90 degrees, just bends at the elbow, just bends there. You got kind of a swivel, kicks out, head on a ball. This is average articulation, which is nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. I would say a majority, if not all, of NECA figures have average articulation. I don't think we had a great articulated NECA figure until the recent Mirage Turtle releases. Single jointed elbow, head is on a swivel, kicks out, single jointed leg. This is average. Now we're going to get into above average, and most collectors assume imports, even though this is a gorgeous Storm Collectibles Tyson. It's a gorgeous Mafex Superman. The assumption is that imports are the king of articulation. Here's McFarlane, which people assume is bad. Here is some imports. No thigh swivel. No thigh swivel. This is what McFarlane gets so much shit for, not having thigh swivel. Well, guess what? These two have no thigh swivel. McFarlane, it's double. Once you hit double jointed elbows and knees, you're above average. Okay? Once you could tilt back, could tilt forward, head on a ball, butterfly, and double joints, you are above average. Okay? Even good. That's what these three are. These two are no better than that McFarlane Batman. It's not until we hit this Spider-Man till we hit great articulation, because he has such range he has the thigh swivel. He could do stuff that no other figure can do. The neck, head, look at that. The head goes all the way up. But he needs to do that because he is Spider-Man. You need Spider-Man to get in these really acrobatic, flexible poses. I don't need that from Mike Tyson. I don't need that from Superman. Sure as hell don't need that from Batman. Okay? So, are we clear? I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I'm just I never understand it. Articulation shouldn't be your main motivation to buy a figure. You need functional articulation within that character. So, this Ninja Turtle, your mind says to yourself, well, Ninja, he doesn't articulate well because he's not double jointed. In that movie, these guys were running around in rubber suits. They couldn't move at all. They didn't do much at all. So it's functional for that particular style of Ninja Turtle. Now, NECA knew that Mirage, the drawings, they did all types of stuff. So you can kick out. It's somewhat double jointed, but it's just limited because of the pads. But it just has really good range. So when I review a McFarlane figure, don't just say, well, it's McFarlane, so yeah, it's articulated bad. It's just not true. I would say almost every McFarlane figure I review, this is one that's 2 years old now. It's double jointed. I could fold this guy into a pretzel. Head's on a swivel. It just can't, the ab crunch isn't super down, but that doesn't mean it's not there. I mean, this is almost that pose I had Spider-Man in. It just doesn't look as good. So, that's my thoughts on articulation. And if I'm dead wrong, let me know in the comments. Articulation to me isn't king. It's only king to me when the figure needs it. Toy Biz knew it with this Spider-Man. This all on the box. This was the most articulated thing for its time back in like 92, 91. Like, comment, please subscribe. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If articulation is king to you, let me know. I mean, if articulation is king, though, that would mean that you don't buy 90% of the figures that are in the market, because nothing NECA does articulates that great. Nothing Super 7 does articulates that great. Nothing Mezco does articulates that great. Marvel Legends do. Marvel Legends, I would say that's one of their better qualities, is articulation. But only thing that's missing between this Spidey and this Batman and say Craven here, although he has ab crunch, is that thigh cut. And neither does this guy. He doesn't have the thigh cut. Here's the import. Anyway, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Just wanted to clear the air on what the range of articulation from bad to above average, average to great. Let me know your thoughts, as always. I'll probably be back tomorrow with another one. Don't know what yet. Take care. Have fun.